Okay. Um, okay, so we've got notes. I hand you guys out notes and a worksheet. So the notes are obviously the ones that say abbreviated electron configuration. The notes at the top. So today what we're going to do is learn how to do the electron configurations that you guys have already done, but we're going to do them shorter. Yeah.
I forgot my glasses. Do you mind if I take pictures of them?
Okay. So uh, this is an explanation of kind of how to do it. So as many of you know, like when you get higher up with some of the big numbers, it gets really long and kind of annoying to write out. So they came up with something called an abbreviated electron configuration because 90% of the time when you're talking about electron configurations, usually all they care about are the valence ones, the outer ones anyway. So that's really the only ones that they really care about in terms of like looking how they are. So we come up with this abbreviated electron configuration. So how you do it is uh, you get an element, right? You're doing an electron configuration for like Ag silver here. You find the period, the row the element is in, then go up one period or one row and all the way to the right to find the noble gas that you will use to represent the inner core electrons. So I don't know if you guys remember, but yesterday when we were doing this, we talked about the like each time you go down a level, you start a new energy level because you have the new S here. So to find the what they call the noble gas inner core or the inner electrons, you go to the last noble gas before the element that you're doing. So like if our element is silver, Ag right here, we find the last noble gas. And to find that, you either go back like this, or I just find it easier to say go up one row and all the way to the right. So we go, let me get it on there. We go up one row, all the way to the right, and we find krypton. Okay. So what you do is you write down krypton, the symbol in brackets. That's going to represent krypton's number of electrons. So we have then what you do is you subtract the number of electrons for the noble gas inner core from the total electrons from the starting element. This is the number of electrons you have left to put in the configuration. So silver Ag is 47, krypton is 36. So you take 47 minus 36, and that means we have 11 electrons left to put in. Because the krypton, the Kr, when we put it in brackets like this, that is standing for krypton's number of electrons. So this is taking the place or substituting for 36 electrons. So we're starting the electron configuration with the 37th electron is what we're doing for this one specifically. Okay? So you put down the element in brackets, then to find the starting sublevel after the noble gas inner core, you count down to the period, the row that the original element is in, use that number and add an S. You always are going to start with an S sublevel because, and this is why I like using the periodic table that we did yesterday, because you can see if we're like the noble gases are over here, right? So if you go to the next element, all of these are always going to be S's, right? So if we look for silver, silver's here. So what row is silver in? Silver was in row 5. So we're going to start with 5s. So we write down 5s. Then we start placing the electrons into the sublevels based on the order from the sublevel, the filling chart, until we put the remaining electrons into the configuration. So we had 11. We put 2 into 5s because s's can hold 2. Put 2 into 5s. Then we look at this. After 5s, we hit the head of the arrow. We go to the tail of the next one. So 5s. The next thing is 4d. How many can d hold? Anybody remember? 10. But we started with 11, but we put 2 in 5s, so we only have 9 left. So 5s2, 4d, 9. And then we put all the electrons we had in, and we're done. So this would be the whole answer. All right. Let's walk through a couple together down here, just to make sure we know what we're doing. So PB is the first one here. So I don't remember if I gave you guys this one or something close to it, but I think I gave you HG. So remember how like that to write all that out took quite a bit, right? So let's see what PB looks like with the abbreviated electron configuration. So we're starting off. How many electrons does PB have?
82.
82. So I'm just going to write 82 over here, so I know what I'm starting with. Okay, to find the noble gas inner core for PB, we're going to go up and all the way to the right. Up 1, all the way to the right. Xenon, Xe. So we are going to put Xe in brackets, like this. Okay, we got Xe in brackets. Everybody good with how we found that? We start at the PB, we go up 1 row all the way to the right. So Xe is in brackets. How many electrons does Xe have? 54. So we're going to take 82 minus 54 to figure out how many electrons we have left to put in. So we have 28 electrons left to put into sublevels because the Xe is standing for 54 electrons. Everybody okay so far? Questions? Okay. So we've got 28 left. Now we got to figure out where we're starting. So we're doing PB, right? So PB, this is one of the places that people mess up. They find the noble gas inner core, and then when they're trying to find where to start, they just go to the left. Remember, you're doing it for the beginning element. So you got to go back to that one and look at what row that is in. So PB, zoom out a little bit here. PB is in row 6. So we start with 6S. All S's can hold how many? 2. So we're going to do 6S2. We take away 2, we're down to 26. Right. Then we look at our the sublevel order chart tool. What comes after 6S? 4F. How many can 4F hold? 14. We have more than 14, right? So 4F, 14. We subtract 14, we're down to 12. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. What comes after 4F?
5D.
5D can hold how many?
10.
10. We've got 10, so we're going to do 5D10. Okay, we're down to 2. What comes after 5D?
6D.
6P can hold how many?
6.
6. Do we have 6 left? No, so we're going to do 6P 2. The remaining ones we have left. And then we're down to 0. And that's it. That's the answer. So a lot shorter than having to do it the whole thing out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's look at B here. So anybody remember if we have a charge, like if we have a 2 negative, what that does?
It adds 2 electrons.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yep, good. Adds 2 electrons. So sulfur starts with 16, so it would have how many? So we're starting with 18. Okay, what is the noble gas inner core for sulfur? Good, neon. So we're here, right? We go up and to the right. So it's Ne. We put that in brackets. So we're subtracting how many electrons? 10. So we're left with 8 to put into sublevels, right? So what are we going to start with here? 3S, right? Remember, you're going to go where sulfur is, not where the neon is, where the sulfur is, because that's where you're starting with. Go all the way to the left, or just see what row number that is. That's number 3. So we're going to start 3S. 3S can hold 2. So we're down to 6, right? What comes after 3S? 3P can hold 6, and we have 6, so that's perfect. We're 0. How are we feeling? All right, any questions?
Wait, I know for C you're trying to bamboozle us by ending this with one of the acidides. So.
Yep. Hold on. What were you asking?
Oh, where'd you get the minus 10?
So neon is worth 10 electrons.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
we subtract that from the beginning amount. Yes, and see, I am throwing a curveball at you. So
Can you say what the noble gas would be in your second?
you can, hold on. You can mark your chart if you want, if you haven't already done it. The row numbers 1 through 7. The bottom two, remember we talked about how this comes out of like it's pulled out. So the bottom two rows, this one is row 6. This stuff is in row 6, and this stuff is in row 7. Okay, so if we look at C, it's PU. PU is 94, it's down here. All right, we have to find, so it starts with 94. So we have to find the noble gas that goes from that. Garrett, you said you think you know which one it is?
Radon, right?
86.
Good. Yes. So remember, this is row 7 here, right? So you're going to go up to row 6. And when we say row 6, I don't mean here. This is row 6, but I mean up here because you got to go all the way to the right to the noble gas. So this is row 7. So you're going to go out up to row 6 up here, all the way to the right. And that's radon, Rn. So that's 86 electrons. So you put Rn in brackets. That's our noble gas in our core. We do 94 minus 86, which gives us what, 8, I think? Is that right? Yeah. So 8 electrons left. Okay, Rn, or not Rn, I'm sorry, Pu is in what row?
7.
7, so we start with 7s, bless you. 7s, right? 7s can hold 2, so we're down to 6. What comes after 7s? 5f. F's can hold 14, but we only have 6 left, correct? So we do 5f, 6, and we're done. How do we feel? Does it make sense?
Yep.
Any questions?